Bonsoir mesdames et messieurs, et bienvenue à mon canal de Let's Play. Well, now that we have that out of the way, let's start our game right where we stopped, which is the Firelink Shrine, a central hub if you want to call it like one. We have a couple of things to do here. Honestly, I want to connect a couple of items and talk to the people that are around here. You might have noticed in the last episode that there's this handsome looking fella sitting over here. Now this guy is called the Crestfallen Knight, or the Crestfallen Warrior I should say. I can probably see why he is crestfallen in just a second.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess, fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first, but there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are actually two bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go.
Bloody brilliant.
But I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
Okay, now this game has a knack for creepy laughter. You will see that a lot in the NPCs.
Ah, your face. You're practically hollow. But
Yeah, I don't look too good.
going hollow could solve quite a bit.
You don't have to pay for taxes, for example.
What? Restoring your humanity? Well, there are a few ways to go about it. Collect it bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter up a cleric and get yourself summoned. And the quickest way, although I never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity.
Now you're talking.
Who is only human after all.
Okay, let's see. Something else?
What are you looking at? Don't try anything clever. You might regret it.
So this is where the laughing stops, eh? Okay. Let's start collecting some of the items around here. Now, this item over here, the humanity, as you can see, this is probably one of the most important items in the game, as the title-giving Dark Soul basically is humanity. This is piece of a Dark Soul. Humanity is a counter that you can see in the top left corner where it says 00. Now I can use this humanity to actually fill up the counter. What this will do is actually make this humanity usable for me, but if I die having those on the counter, I will drop them, as well as the souls in the bottom right corner, and I will have to get them back by touching my bloodstain. Now, from here, from the Firelink Shrine, we actually have three ways to go. We could go up there, which is the Undead perk, which is the recommended and probably most safe way. We can go down there into the new Londo Ruins, which I wouldn't recommend, other than just, you know, picking up a couple of items in the beginning of the game. And the third way is through the catacombs and the graveyard that we probably cannot see from here, but we'll see in a second. Now, what I would like to do once I get here is I'd like to run around and collect basically every item that you can actually find in this area. Now, one should be somewhere over there. Okay, as you can see, there is a chest over there. This is actually not a chest where we can collect stuff, it's rather one where items will appear if we drop them, and they are important story items. We can get them back over there. Okay, I believe there was an item over here. Was there? Yeah, there is one. Okay. So those are souls. They basically work the same way as the humanity. Whenever you crack one of those soul items, you get a quantity of souls. Now, you might have noticed the game lags occasionally, here and there, and this lag is apparent in the normal version of the game. It's just not as bad. Why it's lagging here is basically the DS fix is kind of bugging out from time to time, and the game loads a crap load of stuff. It's because the only loading screen we get is the one when we get into the game. Cough, cough, Bloodborne. Yeah, well, But I don't think it's too bad, honestly. It doesn't happen too often, and I can still talk over it, so it's great. Okay, now let's get down here to the graveyard. This is an area you shouldn't probably enter when you are just starting out and you have no idea what they're doing. Because you might get yourself killed around here. Now, shouldn't lag around here. This is probably a bad thing to happen. But we got out there relatively nice. Now, the thing with this area is that there's a fuck ton of those skeletons, which are a little bit annoying. But there is a ton of items to collect here, so what I like to do just to have them, no matter if I'll actually use them or not, is to run through here and collect them. Hopefully I'll get away from here. Thankfully I have the fast roll. Now what the fast roll is, oh Jesus Christ, okay. The fast rolling is kind of an aspect of the weight system in this game. Now there's a couple of things you might want to consider, is whether your character wants to be a light character who can roll and evade, very agile character basically, or if you want to be like the heavy armored tank. Now as you can see, I actually rested at the bonfire. What this does is it resets all the enemies to their basic positions and respawns them if they were dead. Now what those bonfires are is basically checkpoints for us. We can do a lot of things here, like leveling up and using up the humanity. And it will replenish our Estus flasks, which is the healing item in the bottom left corner, which we have over here, as you can see, the yellow flask. It's mostly 10, some bonfires only give 5. And the NPC we can see here is, she's a firekeeper. She basically, she can't speak, yeah. She's only here to reinforce our Estus flasks. Lore-wise, she is the one who keeps this fire lit up there. So there's that. There's still something in the Firelink Shrine, I forgot about that. Although, we can go down and do a couple of things there. Or do I want to level up? I want to level up before that, sorry. Sometimes you have to organize your head before you talk. Or not level up, but rather get rid of my souls, because I might actually die very soon. Okay. So about that humanity thingy. What is humanity good for? Well, souls are obviously to buy things, so what is humanity good for? Humanity is an item that will allow us to do a couple of different things, one of which, the most important, is becoming human again, because as you can see, we are basically beef jerky. So once we are human, we are able to interact with other people in jolly cooperation or invading people, so it's basically a single player game, except for the messages, as long as we are hollow. Let's talk to this guy, who is called Petrus of Thoroland.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Thoroland. Have you business with us? If not, I prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
Business with us? I thought you were only one guy. The more you know.
Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance. But I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
Oh wow, a copper coin. Totally useless.
Oh,
thank you guys.
You again.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my
Fucking copper coin.
here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you?
It certainly would. Give me that miracles.
Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods.
A covenant. Now, this is something that is very specific to Dark Souls. Basically, the way the multiplayer works is that there are different rule sets to apply. And they depend on the type of covenant you're in.
Now, let me share my miracles.
So you can have only one covenant with one guy.
Effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
Okay, now this guy sells miracles and talismans, which are items required to cast miracles. Miracles are great and all, but they require a lot of faith, and we are not faith-based yet. We didn't level up anything. We can only use the Seek Guidance item over here, so I won't bother with this. Also, as you can see, the description of the item states a little like gameplay-wise information on the top, and there's a little bit of lore on the bottom. And this lore part is really important if you want to understand what's happening in this game. And we can learn a new gesture, which is shrugging. Now finally the copper coin disappeared. Do I have something else to say?
My companions are Milady and her young knights. She is young, but burdened by an undead mission. We are her defenses, to keep her from harm.
Well, you're not doing very good job if you're standing here alone.
The effectiveness of the teachings
Depend upon your fate. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So let's go up here, because there's one more item over here, I think. Yes, there it is. It's another soul, probably. And there is a secret stash in this place where an elevator will be later on in the game. If you dare to jump down here, you might actually find Petrus's secret stash. I don't know if it's Petrus's, but there is a couple of items in here that seem like they belong to him. Cracked Red Eye Orb, which is an invasion item, which we might use later on. A Talisman and Morningstar, which is basically his weapon plus his miracle casting thingy. Homeward Bone, which is a great item to return back to the last bonfire rested at, which might be useful here because we have to go through the graveyard again. But I will just rush there. It's not too bad. And Lloyd's Talisman. Now, you might want to have a good habit to have in this game is basically attacking every chest you see. And because they might actually be alive, and we might see chests here and there with arms and teeth. So let's grab the last item over here before we leave. Which are the binoculars. Yeah, we did see those in the starting gift section. Now as you can see, you can actually get them relatively... Oh, shit. Okay, I might have screwed myself here. Come on, come on, come on! Ah, damn. Okay, yeah. As you can see, you can occasionally die here. Those damn tombstones. You might want to get used to that screen, that will happen a lot of times. Do we want to get our souls back? Ah, fuck it. We will get them back. I'm just stubborn like that. Yeah, so actually, you might want to get a good habit of attacking every chest you see before opening them, in case they are a mimic and want to kill you. Okay, let's see if I can actually find my bloodstain. There it is. This is probably possibly the worst place to die in this graveyard, because there is absolutely no way to get out of there. Oh, roll! Okay, nice. First death recorded, I guess. It's certainly not the last. I mean, this is something you shouldn't be doing in the beginning. This is just something I like to do. Gets the butt pumping, you know? The adrenaline. This rush every time you get through there. Okay. Oh, there's a message here. Oh, that's interesting. As you can see, those messages are some that are left behind by other players. Save zone, yeah, that's kind of right. And you can rate them up, you can rate them down, depending on whether or not they're useful. And I believe the player that gets a message rated will receive either humanity or some kind of other prize for his helpful message. Okay, let's go down here before we actually start the game. I know, it takes a while to actually set up before we really begin with the journey. I just want to run around and pick up a couple of items. Dark. Yeah, whatever. Here you go. Have a humanity or whatever. Okay, let's use this pressure plate on the elevator to get down here. This will lead into the area of the new Londo Ruins. It's a kind of a pretty late game area. But there's a couple of hollows around here. Now, hollows are actually undead. So every undead that kind of died a lot of times and thus became insane is called a hollow. And those guys are called hollows. So that's basically like the most basic type of enemy you encounter. And the guys down here actually don't do anything. Okay, so there's an NPC down here, but we won't bother with him yet. We just want to collect a couple of items and get going. No. Yeah, I'm really sorry for this lagging. Maybe I'll actually find a solution for this. Who knows? What you up to, brother? Crying? Okay. There's another vase over here. We might want to collect the transient curses, which will become more important in the future. Now, transient curses are actually an item that kind of fake curses you, so you're able to attack ghosts, which is one of the main enemy types in the new Londo Ruins, which you can see over there. But as I said, this is something we will do probably a couple of episodes in. Now, another thing we can do is go into the second tower over here, and this door, you can actually open it because we took the master key. Now this will lead into the Valley of Dregs, as you can see, and the Valley of Dregs is kind of an area that is, I don't know, you don't need to go here, honestly. You can if you want to. The thing is, if you go in here, you will get into an area that we'll need kind of relatively soon, and this is kind of the backdoor way of getting there. And it's less frustrating than the normal one. But we want to go here first, because as you can see there is a big lump of meat or something hanging from this cliff, and as you come closer, you might notice it's an undead dragon. And yeah, it's guarding 2 items, which we want to pick up. Now it seems dead, but he will actually stand up and attack and whatnot. Yes. Let's run through. Wow. This was incredibly well done, if I say so myself. But I really don't want to mess with this guy, so let's check if we have our homeward bones, wherever they might be. There they are. And let's go back to the bonfire. This was everything I wanted to do, is just run down here and collect a couple of items. Now, what do we have here? Oh, the S-Stock. I forgot about this one. We actually collect this down in Londo Ruins. But I can't use them as I am not dexterity based. Now, as you can see, you have this required parameter thing down here, which shows you the exact amounts of values of attributes you need to use this weapon effectively. Now, I can equip this if I want to, but it will actually tell me that I am unable to wield it effectively. And it won't look bad, honestly, but as you can see, attack on the left, attack physical, it's 75 minus 61. This minus 61 is a penalty I get for not having this 12 dexterity that you can see in the red bold letters down there. So, let's see, we might actually want to go with the Morning Star. It's 83 plus 7, it's a little bit better than the Hand Axe. And let's equip the Pyromancer's Flame, because we are a Pyromancer, so why not? It doesn't weigh anything. And it allows me to cast Pyromancy. A flame medium used by Great Swamp Pyromancers. Pyromancer arouses flames. This flame to produce various fire arts. Equip Pyromancer Flame to produce Pyromancy. Attune Pyromancies from a scroll at the bonfire. Most Pyromancies have limited number of uses. Yes, so let's take this. Now a shield. A shield is a good thing to have, but you want to have a shield that has a 100% physical blocking, as you can see here. Because most enemies deal physical damage, and if you have a shield that has a 65% physical, even if you block, you will get a little bit of damage. So let's go with this one, because it's 100%. This is the one that we picked up by the dragon a second ago. And I have a slower roll, as you can see. Now the way this thing works is, we have an inventory, which has unlimited space, basically, and unlimited weight. And then we have this here, which is the screen of items we have equipped at the moment. And everything that is equipped here in the hands, I guess as armor and as rings, because they sometimes have a weight too, they count towards our like maximum capacity. And there are different like percentual I guess stages or levels you might call them. And depending on which stage you are, you will have a different kind of roll, whereas maxing out the capacity completely will disable your roll and make you walk instead of run. So we really want to avoid that. It really depends on what kind of character you want to be, but I haven't seen a character yet that plays without the rolling feature. It seems kind of ridiculous. Okay, so we can see we have one Pyromancy up here. We can actually tune a different one at the bonfire, but it's needless to say that we don't have to do this right now, because we don't have any other. Be wary of rear. True that. Amen, brother. Now we have a couple of minutes left before this episode actually ends. We might want to clear this bridge, and we will start with the Undead Burg next episode. So there's a couple of items over here we want to collect as well. No, there's 2 items over there, one up there, and one over there at the cliffside. Let's get those guys one by one. Staggered. Double light, dead. Done. And this is the last guy. And oh ho ho, what was that? A fire attack. Now, there is a dude up there who throws fire bombs at us, and you have to be really careful of this guy. Normally, you might want to kill this guy before going in there. Oh, a bloodstain. Now, as you can see, there's another form of multiplayer interaction. Basically, you see those phantoms in your world sometimes, and they show other players who are at the right spot, like exactly where you are. And sometimes they leave these bloodstains behind. This will, if you press the bloodstain, it will actually show you the very last moments of another player who did die in a specific manner. Sometimes they are useful to kind of predict your own death before it happens, I guess. And backstabbed. Just circle around them and backstab them with a light attack. Works every time. Now this guy, we might actually want to push this guy off and finish this dude here. Ah. Okay, I might actually want to learn my parries again, because they don't work too good. Okay, let's collect the last item up here. And end the episode over here. I guess. Yeah, why not? So next episode we are going to collect the other 2 items, which are down here. And over there, of course. And we're going to Undead Burg. So, until then, see you later, guys.